Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Yes, I'm at a weird time because I'm on a different shift at work, and I reached out to people, and Billy is kind enough to, I don't know, I imagine artists are up all night, sleep all day, so I got Billy up early, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk some comics. How's it going?
It's going good, brother. Yeah, that's not me. I'm
I
like
know,
a
I know. That's
like
why
a
I'm laughing because I know
yeah,
you.
yeah. I'm like a nine in the morning to 9 at night guy, or
Yeah,
10 or
early and
11.
early to rise. I'm kind of that way too. It's 20 years of doing construction, waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I can't sleep late, And now I'm on a shift. I don't have to leave for work until 2 because I'm working 3:30 to 10, and I'm still waking up super early. I just can't sleep in. I don't know.
Well, I hear you, man. Yeah, that's my son William came home too. That we talked about the welder, and I'm like, you just have to to the go to the union office and tell them that give them your resume and tell them that you're looking for work, and and just go to the damn office and say, who do I talk to? I want to get a union job.
Oh, okay,
See,
yeah. Did he call that phone number? I this is
no,
all private stuff. I don't.
yeah,
Yeah,
no, he will. John gave me a phone number for John's electrician. My son William's a welder. He's got a good job, but he put in for the day shift. He's been there for 3 years now. He just turned 23. So once he graduated from welding school, he's fully certified in everything. Um, and he got this when he put in for a job, he got like 5 off. Every job he put in for, they wanted him. So
yeah,
he picked the
welding.
one for this big company out here on Long Island. That's a national company, so he's got full benefits. But he's working the 3 p.m. to 12 p.m. shift every day, and he's Monday through Friday, and he can't go out. What has he got Saturday night, and he's usually tired.
Right.
So he can't go out at night and can't do things. He wants to join the Masons. Start talking about that, the Masonic Lodge. I'm like, this would be awesome for you, dude. And he so he put in for like, oh, we need you on this shift. We need you on the shift, even though he's trained a lot of other guys and people who started off on the night shift and now move to the day shift. And I'm like, you just got to tell them you want the day shift, or you got to find another job.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
I
it.
mean, you know, I gave the number to come work with me. I'm on the same shift now. You know what I mean? So you spin that wheel.
Yeah, but
I,
it's something different though. Don't you go to different places? Like he stays at the same job every
yeah,
day in Farmingdale and does the same thing.
yeah.
He's doing big industrial cabinets, and he's just bored, I think. But if he could move around and
I was in Manhattan for 4 years. I was at the airport for 4 years. But the thing about construction is jobs end, buildings get built.
right,
So when the building gets built, we all get reshifted, refocused. It's a great thing is you constantly meeting cool guys, but you're constantly saying goodbye to cool guys. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
my brother's best man was his partner of 4 years. They worked together for 4 years. The job ended. They haven't seen each other in 12. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. So I'll definitely forward that to him and tell him to call that number.
Right.
And
But the thing is, like, I was at this one job for 6 years in a nice stable position, taking the train every day. I walked up to the coffee guy, the coffee girl. Hey, she knew my coffee, and then all of a sudden, I'm working in the public school system, and you can't do any work while the kids are at school.
right.
So now we're doing it, and now they're telling me this job is going to end soon, but I might go back to the airport, but at night, which it's midnight to 5 in the morning shift. That ain't that bad because now you're just trading sleep for work. You know what I mean? Like either you're sleeping or you're working at those particular, but it's all overtime. But it's all overtime, so I can't say no to that.
No, you can't. Not at all. So I got to talk to him. We'll talk about it this weekend and stuff. And he comes home at midnight or a little after. Shift ends at midnight, and then he wakes up at 5 or 6 to go to the gym, and then he goes back to bed after the gym.
Right. I wake up. I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do this because I got to go to work soon. I don't want to do this because I got to go to work soon. I don't want to, and I end up doing nothing. This is my 3rd week on the shift. I wake up early. I'm up at 6:37, and I don't do anything. I read comics. You know what I mean? So I know and then you come home and it's midnight. My wife usually stays up. we eat a little something together because I don't see her. When I wake up, she's getting ready for work. And and then on Saturdays we do stuff, but like I'm all like discombobulated. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
tough,
there's only 3 weeks. I can't imagine living like that.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law lived this shift for 18 years. I don't know how he
Wow.
did it. But for him, it was all overtime. So he just did 18 years overtime and was able to retire early.
Yeah, see, imagine that. Like that's why I said, I'm like, you get in the union. Now he has a retirement and all that with this job and
Right.
401k and everything, but it's just he's just bored as shit. And I don't blame him, And leave on good terms, but say, listen, I got to move on. I got something else.
Right. Yeah.
But think about that, and he wants to start his own business. He wants a year from now, he wants to have his own business. I'm like, you can do that on the side.
Right.
I said, we'll even help you get a TIG welder that with all the boats out here by me, you could make hundreds, maybe $1,000 a weekend, especially in the summer. Everyone that needs things around here, and you have your own little welding company, but you have your job. But on the weekends, you do this, and you come in.
No joke. If he does what I do, he could be home every day at 3:00. And then go and work on boats for 2 hours a day. Probably charging $100.
But he's not an electrician; he's a welder. So, are you talking to him to be retrained as an electrician?
Yeah, he would have to start over as an apprentice.
All right. Well, you know what, John? Let's see if we can get. Maybe we hang out one afternoon and you could just talk to him.
For those of you who don't know, Billy only lives down the block from me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this is how we talk. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I got Phil Russert. If you guys know Phil Russert, Phil's a mile away.
Oh, I didn't realize he was that close too.
Oh yeah, and I see him in San Diego. Like once in a while, I'll see him at the deli.
Yeah,
or something. But
Billy lives 10 minutes away, and once a year he calls me. It's Free Comic Book Day. You want to go hang out? Well, I go down to Free Comic Book Day.
Oh yeah, it's how it is. Now my son, my other son's at school and he's wrestling, and we're looking at all fall come November because my wife is like, I am not. If he's at Pitt wrestling, we're going to Pitt. We're going to Pittsburgh to go to. She's like, I am not going to have my son get hurt while I'm not there, and we like to see him anyway.
Yeah,
but
of course.
We'll be driving, all over Pennsylvania and Ohio and up, where else? Upstate New York. So it's gonna be a crazy fall.
Now, if you drive to Pittsburgh, could you and you see your son, could you set up an easel and do work?
No, absolutely, nah.
No.
So I really work here in my studio.
Okay.
I've tried that on vacations and stuff. Maybe I could write. I could do like stuff like press releases. If a campaign's running, I can do that at night, but I can't draw. Like here, I'm drawing, I'm drawing the for Ran. I'm doing the hardcover cover, and I do it as a rough.
Oh, you draw sexy women? I didn't know that.
Sexy, hello, so sexy.
So you still draw on paper and
oh yeah. I don't know that shit. Yeah, we had a show. I've been because I'm really getting into AI now with my work. So I have a goal with AI is that we've had so many meetings with film people for the past 30 years and options and stuff, and now we have a really good one for she. But I'm looking at this AI stuff that's going on, and I'd like to take my Ran, specifically with Ran. I'd love to make Ran Revenge of the Warrior a film off of my comic. Because you have your comic art, right? You have a comic book, and that literally goes from scene to scene, shot to shot, and to take my actual
it's kind of a storyboard,
yeah, pretty much, and we have the script and everything like that, and I'd love to load them up into an AI program and to make a film out of it, based directly off of our art, not something completely different. Even someone sent me an amazing Cyberwolf sent me an amazing little video he made off of the She Sakura cover, and I put that in the link if you want to see it. That's in the private chat. I think it's the second link. That is more realistic. I'm kind of even into just doing our artwork. You know what I mean? To do the actual comic art, like what is a book? Yeah, okay. Have this, and even the cover, this great Kenneth Rocafor cover becomes alive, say. And then to have, your panels from the book, let me find something here. you know, to do. And here's your shot, you know, opening scene. Then you cut to her arguing with her daughter, you know, they go up, you know, to go and make a film off of this, you know, off of this stuff. Hang on, I'll get it.
Every time I make you pull.
I know, I'm trying to find one with less panels. Oh, this was a fun scene. They're fighting on the Long Island Railroad, her and this guy. He comes
good. I'm not the only one who fights on the Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, right. And he has this she has this big brawl on the Long Island Railroad and kicks the guy in the face, and she ends up stabbing him in the eye. But to tell this scene, you know, I have shot by shot of it.
Right.
And you know, to make it as make it a tool instead of a threat, because I despise the fake AI. I despise, you know, you just creating art. I'm not into that because, you know, I'm a traditional cartoon.
You're a skilled craftsman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the thing is, we have to also admit that's the future. That's going to be the future.
Yeah, it's this is a touchy subject. I've had guys on my channel that totally embrace it and love it, but they don't draw. You know,
right,
and then I have guys that are artists, and it's me. I don't draw either, but I don't know. I'm trying to be sensitive because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But I'm skeptical, and I'm wondering if I'm a Luddite. But my guts is saying I don't know. I think I famously just argued with somebody because he tells me, because he said I wrote a novel last night, 75,000 words in 2 hours. I said, really? You didn't write a novel. You typed in prompts. You know what I mean? Now, why would I pay for that when I could type in prompts? You know? What I mean?
So that's even more than what we were talking about. That you could be stuck on a story, right? Say you're a Superman writer, and like, oh my God, there's been so many Superman stories. You go into ChatGPT, if that's the right thing, and say, write me a Superman story that's never been written before. And Lex Luthor, you know, Luthor wants to, you know, I don't know, he's gonna blow up a train and create a false terrorist attack. It could write you up the treatment for it right there. And then I guess you could say, now write me this as a 24, or if it's say that's probably say 3 issues, like knowing how DC. Write this as a 64-page comic script, and it'll do it. Whether it's good, and that's terrifying.
Yeah,
you know, that's to me, that's terrifying. I don't want to know anything about it. However, I do want to go into making a film, right? Because this is the only way I'm seeing right now that I can make a film exactly to my vision. No interference, because I've had producers before telling me that the original Way of the Warrior story has to be changed because it's too Japanese. They changed Anna's name in one of the scripts from Anna Ishikawa to Anna Lane. So it seemed more Western, you know? This, you know, when Anna battles Arashi at the very end of the Way of the Warrior storyline, he defeats her. They found that unacceptable. She has to kill him at the end. And that's not my vision. Whether it's good or not, I'd rather have
that's like a girl who dates a guy and then says, I'm gonna change him.
Yeah, that's exactly
how often does that work? You know what I mean?
We love it, we want it, now change everything.
Right.
And I was told, well, that's what I want to do. I'm paying for this. So that's what I want to do. That's it. And these producers or whatever come up with something at the top of their heads. So you know what? They make their own movie. And let me tell you something. If my idiot ass can come up with this, there are a lot of other people way smarter than me that are already doing it. And it's happening. So why not imagine, you know, what's a great story? Let's say Watchmen, right? Imagine Watchmen done as a 12-episode series exactly the way that it was originally conceived, right? Whether you like it or not, you're going to have you're going to have something that is true to the creator's vision. And that's what I want to do with this. Now, again, we're talking to somebody really cool right now about She, and we're very excited about it. So looks to be that She might, you know, will quite possibly be optioned very soon.
Like as an animated movie or
we don't know. It probably live action or animated or Netflix.
I got to ask you. Let's pretend it gets live action, and let's pretend you get everything you wanted. Who would be the actress that you would cast?
I don't know. It'd have to be a Japanese actress, because that's the way Hollywood is now. You can't have a Chinese actress play her. Right. They want it to be Japanese.
Well, she's a Japanese. Yeah, she's a Japanese. Yeah, just like you don't want to hire a white person and put them in black makeup. You know what I mean? Like I understand that. For race, I got no problem with.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I don't have a problem with an Irishman playing Amerigo Vespucci if he's a good actor. I don't have a
Right.
problem
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
I have a problem though when you have someone like a black actor playing, like
Like a
playing
14th century
the Queen of
Viking.
England. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it didn't happen, or never, or
Yeah.
Cleopatra. That
My
didn't happen.
suspension of disbelief only goes so far.
Yeah, if it's supposed to be a historical document, historical fiction, I don't like that. If it's something fantasy like Game of Thrones with dragons and all this stuff, sure, fine. Have an Asian,
Right. That's a made up
king
world.
in a land, and he has all sorts of races. That's fine. But if you're going to do a story on Genghis Khan, I really don't want to see John Wayne playing that role in makeup anymore.
Yeah.
I'd rather see
Yeah.
a
People forget
badass Chinese actor, a Mongol actor playing him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but the cool thing about the AI from comics to film, again, I think, and I can't wait to talk to my friends about it. Just imagine Bone. There's a great image that Jeff Smith, a cartoon Jeff Smith made about Lucy, sort of Charlie Brown about to kick the football. You know what I mean? And there's Bone and Phone and what's his name? Phony Bone is holding the ball, and Phone Bone goes to kick it, and he keeps doing the Lucy thing. He's like, "Hey, I'm from Netflix. Would you want to make a movie? Sure. This is going to be different." And he learns again.
Jeff Smith he's been getting Lucy Brown for decades.
Exactly. So imagine Jeff Smith now finding this program, now either do it with somebody else or do it themselves, and to go and to load up his pages of Bone, 300 pages or so of that entire series, and make a 12, like I said, 12 issue, 10 issue series on it. And he releases it every
The
Shoot,
only
he
thing
can even make it every week if he wants. He can release it every week like they do with Outlander and all these TV shows, Downton Abbey and stuff like that. But then again, this is also having Jeff is in complete control. You could pick who's going to do the voices. You could pick the soundtrack, the score. Now you can also hire real actors to do the voices, right? For sure. And then you can hire a real composer to do the music, or you could throw in, I want a Hans Zimmer mixed with Guitarro type of thing, and you add that. The
only thing I got to say is I personally know so many cartoon animators that I don't work. Like the whole animation industry has been gutted. Now Studios and Canada, it's like.
But this could be a new thing for them,
right?
They have that animation background. They know how to story. They know how to take from a single frame to move on to the next, to the next frame. So if you look at the great Disney animators, because a lot of people know them, right? Bill Titla, Ub Irwix, guys like that. When they would draw a scene, they would not draw every frame. They would draw frame A and then maybe frame D, right? And then you'd have fill-in artists do B and C, right? Like that. That's what I want to use AI is to be those fill-in artists, to go from one scene to the next, one cut to the next, really not one scene, one cut to the next. And then you could play, I want the scene to last a little longer. And you could start popping that in. I think that would work. Yeah. And so it's something to explore. It's I got books to do. I got a 40-page comic I got to draw. So and I'm doing the covers now that we're going to launch in a few weeks. But in the meantime, why don't I get my son Matthew, who's at college, who's studying to be an engineer? Hey Matthew, look into this. My buddy, I got another buddy, Mark Haynes, who's a producer out there in Los Angeles. He's like, man, I've been thinking about this. I'm like, put something together. If it makes it work, if we can be a partner and we can partner up on this might be something we can do. But you got to find that program, because I know it's happening, because we were talking even at Terrificon that they were saying even in Fantastic Four, there's a lot of AI effects.
Yeah.
They use AI for effects. And it's happening, man.
It's happening. Like, didn't Tom Brevoort from Marvel just say that AI is the future of Marvel?
Yeah, because they're already looking to have that. So here's another thing. What if you go to Jack Kirby's estate, right? And say, listen, we want to do, and Stan Lee's estate too. You go to Stan's daughter, right? We want to do a wholly new Jack Kirby and and Stan Lee Fantastic Four miniseries based on all of their work on the Fantastic Four together to create something new. And we will pay you $500,000 to use your father's words and likenesses for this. Right?
Right.
And same thing, and the same thing with Jack, to use your father's art style and storytelling to put into this program. Hell yeah, they're gonna say yes.
Well, I mean, it's our look at the Rings of Power. I mean, I know it's not AI, but like the Tolkien's great grandkids now are all selling the rights to. They're just like, oh right, Tolkien's my great grandfather. I never met the guy.
Yeah.
All I know is you're paying me $700,000 and we get to crap all over the Silmarillion. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm not saying anything bad about Stan Lee's kids and Jack. I'm just saying, if I found out that my grandfather wrote a book that I had, you know, whatever, and somebody was going to pay me $50,000, $100,000 to adapt it, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Yeah, why not? And the same thing with
film. Events at work.
Same thing with film. What if you go to Universal Studios, who can do whatever they want with the Frankenstein franchise, goes to Boris Karloff's granddaughter and says, we have this program that we can have with your father's voice of every film he was in from say Frankenstein when he's 46 years old, the Targets in 1969, 68, his last film or whatever, and his likeness. And we want to make a new Frankenstein film. And we'll pay you $1 million to hire your grandfather's likeness, but we need the digital rights to him. Of course they'll do it.
That also brings up a big point. Do I own my grandparents' likeness? You know what I mean? Like that's a whole legal battle.
That's a whole nother thing. But they might just be able to do it without them.
Like
if they were
like regular people like us, like they migrated from Italy. But like, let's imagine somebody found photographs of them. Oh, that fits my character, and they want to use my grandparents. Like, do I own them? Like, I got a million. Do we have to get a consortium of all 55 of us surviving grandkids? And, you know what I mean?
You never know, but you know, that's what a good person would do. You know, I don't know if ordinary people would do. You know, I don't know if the studios would do that. That's why I think.
I'm making the extreme case, but let's say I'm Robert De Niro's grandkid. You know what I mean? Like, does Robert De Niro's grandkid own Robert De Niro?
I don't know, or the studios own it because it's all their work. It's all work for hire.
Because I could see the studios making the case. Yes, you own Robert De Niro, but we own Rupert Pupkin. Yeah, we own all the characters. You know what I mean? Like, we're not stealing Robert De Niro's likeness. We're taking Rupert Pupkin's likeness.
Right. So they could do they can have another Taxi Driver film, say, or him in Vietnam. He's a Vietnam veteran. What he did in Vietnam.
Yeah. James Earl Jones sold the digital right to his voice to Disney. Yes. Yeah.
Yep. And Bruce Willis too, I think, sold for a couple of $1 million his likeness and persona and all that stuff to one of the studios so they could use him.
Right.
But play if you can that chat, the second chat I did, if you could show that.
Which one is that? The live
the second one in the studio chat, in the private chat.
Okay.
Or I can share it if you want.
Yeah,
that's from
this one.
Yeah. So if you go big on it, if you click in and go big on it, that's what he did off of my Sakura cover.
Right.
I mean, that's a cool way. I can even do that for an opening for the new She video for the next She graphic novel or something.
Yeah. I mean, we have Genuine Comics in the chat. He makes great comics. Right. If you ask me, he makes the best superhero indie comics coming out right now. And he's been busting my chops, and I don't blame him because I've been taking pictures of images of my comics and animating them. But it's a fun toy. But like I've been doing silly stuff with and but like this is really cool. This looks like a real person. I could see this.
Now this is way more, but this is even way more than I'd like. I would personally rather it look like the comic art.
Right.
Like anime, like an animation type. That's what I would like it to look. Sort of like that. I would like it to look like that. But that's pretty freaking cool. And I'm telling you, that's the future, man.
like, I'm an electrician. Right before I started working, they would have splicers. And these splicers they were old guys. They would come in, they would have a fold-up chair, they would sit down, they would set up everything. They would take 20 minutes to get themselves comfortable, and then they would make a splice with a soldering iron and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody invented those Scotch locks, those little rubber things that you twist. And they went nuts. Like it destroyed their specialty.
Yeah.
And now every apprentice, if you're on the job for 2 days, you can now make splices because the Scotch locks,
Yeah.
they're called.
Yeah.
And now we fought against that. And it's kind of silly now because the price of electrical work went down. You know what I mean? Like, because you didn't have to hire these guys. We would have to stop and let this specialty guy come in and now I just am I the old timer fighting against Scotch locks when it comes to like 20 years from now, they're gonna be like, that John's Longbox guy didn't like AI, and look, he's on the wrong side of history, kind of.
Well, and sadly, it's. I wish it wasn't that way, but it is. I mean, look at even with inkers, right? Inkers back in the day were they were virtuosos, right? They were amazing. And if you look at Buscema's pencils, Kirby's pencils, a lot of them were very loose, but the inkers knew how to put this all together. What happened, especially when the digital age came with, computer coloring and stuff, you had a lot of artists, a lot of guys who became inkers, not all of them, but a lot of them became inkers because they weren't good enough to be pencilers. Right. And then the pencilers started deciding, like, I really don't need someone to ink this. Why don't I ink it myself? Right. And then when computer coloring came in and you scan in your art, you don't need inkers.
Oh, really?
Sadly, there's no inks on this. Right. There's no inks in this whole book. This is all pen. I've been doing this since '96, really. And the reason why I like it gives a nice watercolor effect to it. It's no one has this thick line around their art, but anywho, but they're like, oh man, we got rid of inkers in a way.
But I'll be a devil's advocate. I'm trying to form my own opinion. So, like, some people get mad when I just ask a question. Inkers arose out of a necessary because of technology. Like, you couldn't take the pencil and just so at some point you could have argued, well, why do we even need inkers? Like back in the 40s, what do we need inkers for? You know what I mean? Now we're just paying another guy. And now in the 90s, we're getting rid of inkers that were temporary. You know what I mean? Like, we're always looking at everything from right now, and unfortunately, that's all I could do. I'm not smart enough to think of a universal approach to everything.
Well, the thing is, whether we like it or not, you gotta roll with the changes. Correct. Whether you like it or not, whether I would love things have been at the old ways, even before where you could do inkers, and you had an inker because you could just do your pencil pages a hell of a lot quicker.
Right. Another construction story is, again, when I started, all the power tools had cords. You know what I mean? And in order to have a cord, you had to have an electrician bring in, like at a new building, a temporary power source.
Right.
With the gasoline powered diesel engine. And we have one guy whose job was to maintain that. You literally needed it. That wasn't like one of those scam things. Like, you needed somebody to maintain this generator, because if that generator went down, the whole job, nobody could work. 100, 200 guys couldn't work. Yeah. And we had cords running out of it. And then we had to tie up the cords because people are tripping, and it was like a whole big thing to be the maintenance guy, and those guys work 24 hours. Now everything's battery powered, and we can't have battery powered, and the only reason we fought that was because it took away a couple of jobs for people. But now we started to realize, if I didn't have a battery powered drill, that they're gonna hire that shop that uses old battery, because now they don't have to hire you know what I mean? And the steam fitters, we don't have control of the steam fitters. They're all using battery powered stuff, and the carpenters are all. So we're gonna be the dinosaurs wheeling in this diesel generator. You know what I mean? And they're gonna hire the other shop. So you can't fight technology. You can't.
And you've gotta, like I said, those are the ones who survive, or the ones that go with
horses, but nobody's riding a horse to work.
Yeah. PD has a question, if I can answer it. Billy,
Billy,
if you want to share that.
Yeah, sure. Billy.
Using AI doesn't look original to me. It's an algorithm using what real artists create. Do you see artists being replaced, or just less artists and writers working? Sadly, I see artists being replaced completely. I do. I think that
I agree with you.
I totally do. I think comics will survive a lot longer, maybe 25 years or so. There'll always be, right now, we're both boutique publishers, I call myself. Um, and we're in demand. But I'm telling you, and you saw when Tom Brevoort started talking about AI, they're already building. I know they already built some comics AI, and they debated. Someone came in and showed them this comic was done in a week, and it costs us nothing. I know they've already done that. Not that I know. I
Yeah,
can't imagine
I know.
why they couldn't have done that if all these other people are doing that. You see a lot of Kickstarters now, and you see their books and their covers are all done with AI. And then they got 6 fingers, 8 fingers, the fingers don't attach, but that's because it's so new. Man, you give it 2 years.
It's going to be scary in
Yep.
5 years from now. Let's just say 5 years
Yep.
from now. There's going to be movies. There's
Yep.
going to be,
And that's why I want to jump on it now.
And like I said, my gut reaction, I fought against the chords. I would have fought against the Scotch locks if I had, but I would have lost. I'm a Luddite. A couple of people are like getting mad at me about my stance, but I'm just like, this story, I told the story 3 or 4 times, but I got a buddy who's a Roman legionnaire reenactor. He dresses up as a Roman legionnaire.
Cool.
This guy's like 6'4", and I know you're into World War II stuff, so I can imagine this would be something interesting. But him and his buddies, they'll dress up like Romans. They'll go to parades, and they have like authentic. Everything has to be shiny and everything. So he's got big, huge feet, and his sandals broke, and he has to go to this guy. He writes to him, and the guy mails him sandals. I said, "How do you do it?" He goes, "There's one guy in the United States. He makes Roman sandals as per the Roman legionnaires. Like and that's his job. But there's one guy in the whole country, and that's the way I look at comic books. Like 10, 15 years from now, there's going to be a handful of guys that actually make their own comics, ink them, you know what I mean? And
they'll do well. They'll do, I think,
they'll always be there.
They'll do well. If they're
That's
good,
my point. There'll always be that artisanal, what was the boutique that you use? There'll always be that
publishers, a boutique industry. That's what I think. Specialized comics are coming, like the way we do things the old ways. But I think on the grand scheme, I think you're going to see, I'd say 5 years from now, I'd say maybe not 5, because someone's got to do it. Someone's got to do it like Ridley Scott, say, right? Ridley Scott's 80 years old. He's just exhausted doing all these type of comics, movies, right? It's very draining on a director, all the work he has to put into it. And he's going to do the first AI comic based on Ridley Scott's work, based on his ability, based on his past work. And he'll write it. He'll write the script, maybe, I'm sure, himself, and then put it into, I don't know if ChatGPT does that. I know there's got to be AI screenplays, right? That totally.
Oh,
hey, PB, what's this? You see artists going the way of button factory workers. Technology wants no. Yeah, sadly, so I do. I really do, because look at, let's just say, Mad Men, right? Lucky Strike Cigarettes goes to Manhattan from their offices in North Carolina, right? Fly there, spend a week there, or they're flown in there by Don Draper's firm, right? Don Draper pitches them something, right? They tell Don what they want. They paying Don to do this. Don pitches it. They like the idea. Don then pays his art department to create it, right? Then Don goes and they like it. Okay, that's pretty cool. Then Don hires a film production company, which, of course, Lucky Strike Cigarettes is paying for, or whoever the company is, right? That owns Lucky Strikes. They make a TV commercial, right? On it, the Marlboro Man, whatever. They spend all that money. Now, today, Lucky Strike would be like, we need a new campaign. Right. All right, let's do a new campaign. And in 10 minutes, a half hour, if they bought this program, say, because it's going to cost them, say it's $1,000, they'll have all that done in 10 minutes, as opposed to something that takes months.
You don't have to explain. I understand the economics of it, but I was talking last night with Telepathic Buddy. I don't know if you're familiar with him. And his theory is that AI is going to expand, it's going to get better, and then it's going to be a certain point where AI is searching AI, and it's going to get like like it's not going to progress. It's going to be like, because AI looks, oh, there's Billy Tucci, there's Jack Kirby, there's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. There's going to be a point where it's self-referential, and it's probably going to stagnate. Now, I kind of see that, but I'm not a computer guy. Maybe I'm crazy. So I think it's going to get a lot better, and then there's going to be a point where, okay, it's progressed to this level. It's usable. It's good. But I think the individual humans, the cream will rise to the top.
Yeah, I think also by that time we have to worry about fighting them. To be
Well,
honest,
at that point, I'll have to worry about how much dirt is going to be covering me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Because you're gonna have to. Yeah, you're gonna have to. I think Terminator's totally gonna fucking come true.
Yeah.
Totally, it is. And like they see these robots on the street, and the boxing robot now, and the dog, and all this, and
yeah,
and it's, to quote from what movie was it? Jurassic Park. He goes, yeah, at first it's all oohs and ahs, and then there's running and screaming,
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it turned this whole AI, it's the hot topic lately, and it always evolves into like a theological discussion sooner or later. Like at one point, like I was saying with my wife, because she 2 days a week she's working from home, 3 days a week she's going into the office doing something on a computer. And like I already mentioned, a couple of my friends who are animators, they're out of work. They're switching whole careers, working in hands-on construction or post office or going to the court officers, because court officers don't have an age limit. They're all doing stuff that I can't see AI doing. But I think anything that anybody does on a computer, that those jobs are going away in the next 15 years. And then what are we going to do? Are we going to have, basic income? Are we going to have just starving people in the streets? Like, are we going to become a dystopia? Like, I don't know. That this is where my thoughts go, because I'm a comic book guy and I can't stop thinking about, like, is OMAC going to become real?
Yeah.
Jack Kirby I think is a prop. And I think
the times are changing, bro. I mean, look at these.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm acknowledging that there's changes coming, and I'm trying to anticipate what to do. But like I see, like, if we are doing basic income, we are just going to produce the worst people in the world, because people people need challenges. And just look at all these people that just sit in their house and they're on welfare and they don't do anything, and they're I hate to say it, they're just fat, they're out of shape, they're not intelligent.
They make more money. More kids they have, the more money they make from the government. And that's all by design, bro. The government's done that by design. They want
no kidding,
control the population, the haves. Totally want to control the population. They have to keep people down for them to stay in power. They have to keep people poor for them to stay in power.
That's why I see the AI, basic income. I think once we accept the concept of universal basic income, we might as well just say we're slaves of the government.
That's what they want. So either you become a politician, right, and get in the government, or you can make have your own financial creative freedom and start. And like I said, if you can't beat them, join them and do that. I mean, look at OnlyFans, right? You have these college girls, these hot, cute college girls are making more money than fucking NBA and Major League Baseball players. Whatever the hell they're doing on on their OnlyFans account. It's crazy.
Yeah. And that's going to be wiped out. You're going to.
Yeah, they're going to have them fucking robot girls or whatever that is doing that shit. Fucking nuts.
I'm careful what I say, because I don't need to be clipped. But you do see, like, these artificially intelligent created girls now that are, look at that she that you just showed me. If that girl started taking off her clothes, you know what I mean? She could have her own OnlyFans account. She's not even a real person, and she'd do better than, So even these hot OnlyFans girls are about to become obsolete. You know what I mean? It's scary. Guys become construction workers, like, because cops will be obsolete. We're gonna have robots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are robots going to be electricians and construction workers? I think that'll be the last holdout. So I'll make it to retirement. Your kids, I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's what I'm looking at is to use it as a tool for film, is to make my own. And again, hopefully, knock on wood, our she deal will go through. All that stuff is great. But if not, I mean, I told the last film producer we had 20 years ago or 10 years ago, and I said, you know what? If you don't make this, because I wasn't happy with the direction they were going, and I ended it. And I said, I'll make this movie 10 to 15 years from now myself. Not even thinking it was like this. I thought I'd do it the old-fashioned way, but now that those words ring true, and it's a real possibility.
Right.
So
right. It's funny because I remember in the 80s, I was all punk rock. Here I got my Germ shirt on, and I'm still into punk. And I remember we were talking about the beginnings of the internet. And I was like, I can't wait for the internet, because the internet, everybody's going to be able to broadcast. We're going to destroy corporate radio. I was real big. Let's get rid of corporate radio. I really don't want to hear Bruce Springsteen ever again.
Right on. Yeah.
I want to hear 3-chord punk bands and stuff like,
yeah. You had like WLIR, and even they wouldn't play punk.
Yeah. Really. I remember going to the or something. I'm like, how the hell could you play this song 42 times in an hour and you're not playing this band? And they were like, yeah, well, we do what we're told too. At least the DJ was honest. He goes, we pretend that we're all indie, but we're not. It took the wind out of my sails. I was like, all right, let's have a drink. I couldn't fight with the guy. He agreed. But and I looked at the internet, and now YouTube, me and you could talk about comics. That guy could talk about comics. That guy could hate me and I could ignore him, and it doesn't matter, because there's just, and it kind of is democracy. And I'm looking at AI. The positive that I see is it's kind of destroying the Hollywood blockbuster and the Harvey Weinsteins, and you know what I mean. Now the individual guy could, with the camcorder, if he wanted to, me and my buddies could get actors and make a really quality looking movie.
Yeah, you can with your iPhone. Yeah.
My buddy Dan does it. My buddy Dan teaches film at Five Towns College, and him and his students make an hour movie. They still write it. They don't use the AI stuff, but it looks like a something you'd see on Netflix. So that, in that respect, I like that the average person now is empowered. I can't believe I'm using these liberal progressive terms, but the average person is empowered to make the art. But what I'm scared of is that we remove the human aspect of it. And then, like, again, I don't want to mention names because this person's going to pop up and start yelling at me. I wrote a novel last night, 75,000 words in 2 hours. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't at all.
No, you didn't. So yes, I understand what you do. You take your art, you drew your comic books, and you scan it, and the computer program understands the physical anatomy of your world and the real world and moves the legs and stuff like that, and then you could correct it.
Yeah, you can even write in like this, this scene right here, this cut I want to be, right, as long as the dialogue is. Let's see here. Oh wait, my bad. Your loser jailbird father, right? And the girl kicks her in the face, right here. Whatever. This, she get picked on by the bullying girls. All right, so that line right there is going to be 5 seconds.
Right.
So as soon as she says your loser jailbird father, you type in there, cut to the next shot of where Hotaru does a roundhouse kick and kicks her right in the face. And make it kind of
now I kind of understand where you're coming from a little bit better. You clarify. So you physically are acting like a director.
Totally. Yeah.
Using this computer as a team. Okay, but you are the head honcho. You're the intelligence. You're the final say. That. Okay, yeah, I could see that. I'm thinking, like, when you said that artificial intelligence, I was just like, scan, hit the button, and
no, it can't do it because it'll be all off. You're gonna have to redo it a dozen, 25 times. You have to redo, which is fine because, like, all right, change that scene to a above shot. Change this, change that. Change. It's more hold the shots. You know what I mean? Hold that shot. I want to stay on that shot. It pans from left to right, as opposed to just, it's like a motion comic sort of thing, but it's actually like a film. And then you go to the distribution companies, right? Film distribution companies. Here you go. I made this film. Oh my God, this looks like a $25 million, $100 million film. Right. Well, how much you want to give? Well, we'll give you $5 million for it. Sure, there you go, because it only costs you $25,000 to do it.
Right.
And the again, we might as well get our
I watch these modern Marvel movies, and they don't look that much better than what amateurs are doing.
Yeah. And no, for nothing, the older Marvel movies look fucking better than the new ones.
Yeah, go. I challenge anybody to go watch the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Mm.
The CGI in that is so real. You'd think like, the guy with the tentacles on his face.
Yeah,
You
great.
think he was really standing there. Davy Jones, right? I couldn't
Yeah,
remember his name.
yeah. Look at whatchamacallit. Look at Jurassic Park, the first Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
It was brilliant. It still holds up. You look
right.
at the new Fantastic Four. Now, I didn't see it, but I didn't think that girl looked great. The whatever her name is, the female.
She looked like.
Surfer.
I mean, the thing is difficult to put in the real world, and I looked at that thing, and that was as close as you're going to get to Kirby, but it still, to me, was a cartoon character inserted. It made me think of when Gene Kelly was dancing with
Mickey Mouse, or who was it? Was it Porky Pig, or somebody? Who was he?
Porky Pig or Sylvester, or whatever. You know what I mean? But that's what it.
Oh yeah, Tom and Jerry, right?
Yeah, Tom and Jerry. Yeah, but that, and that was the best looking. I can't help but thinking if the Pirates of the Caribbean people made that Fantastic Four movie, it would have looked. But that's not CGI. That's not an artificial. That's just Disney.
Yeah.
Is just whatever.
It's just, if you want to, again, we could fight it. I don't, like I said, I don't like it. I'm not going to ever do my comics all CGI, but I'm telling you who is. Marvel's going to do it.
Yep.
Or somebody's going to do it, and it's going to be really good.
Yep.
And that's going to change everything. Then everyone's going to be doing it. Look at Superman goes into public domain in 2028, right? I think.
Like that, yeah.
Something like that. Someone's going to make a Superman film off of that Superman #1 comic, and it's going to look like the Fleischer cartoons or something.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it's going to do.
Yeah, I like again.
Yeah,
even
with me, what I can do, what I want to do with, I'd love to say, okay, we want to sell the film rights, but we want to sell the live action rights, even with She, because then I could tell my Gatecrasher story. I can do that and make an animated film on Gatecrasher. See how much it costs. Really look into it. Again, my wife's not happy with me because I get so excited. I was up the other night, all night, just researching it. And she's like, that's great, but you have a book to get out. So let's get this book done, because we want to start doing 4 campaigns a year now, launching 4 and fulfilling 3 a year.
That's good.
So we're going to launch the Revenge of the Warrior in 2 weeks, I think. And then that'll be on Indiegogo. It'll be on Indiegogo for a month, a month or 6 weeks. And then in November or October, late October, we'll launch, it on Kickstarter sort of thing. And then maybe November or maybe November, I'll launch my next omnibus edition. Once I'm done with drawing this book, I'll launch my omnibus edition, which is the crossovers for She. That's our next thing. So, and then we'll do November. And then we'll do in January, we'll launch on Kickstarter.
4 campaigns a year. And what, like, how many pages per book are we talking about?
Well, you're looking at 48 pages for Ran. The omnibus is probably going to be 500 pages again, because we did a lot of crossovers. And then I'll go back to She, which She Big in Japan is the title I'm working on, where she actually goes to Japan. And then we'll see how Ran does. Maybe another Ran story. I've got a bunch of them lined up, so that's the goal.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
For next year. Next year, we want to launch 4 and fulfill 3. So
launch 4, fulfill 3, and what? Like 2 of them are new materials and 2 of them are collections.
Yeah, that would be. I'd like to at least 1, or no, maybe 3 of them are new material, and 1 is an omnibus or a collected edition or something like that.
I don't know if I know Stippling. He's working on a story with me, so I hope he's not busting your chops. I don't like when
he's awesome. Nah, Stip's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, Stipling's awesome. I don't know if you've seen the page that he just drew for one of my stories.
No, I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, it's so good. So
we love him and Amanda. They're good friends of ours. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, Stippling is awesome. I met him at the cigar party. I show up at the cigar party and you're going to bed. Jeez.
What? When?
Last cigar party in July.
What time? I was there though. I didn't go to bed.
Yeah, you were there. I think I showed up around 10.
I went to bed at
everybody was hanging out till 2 in the morning. What's that?
I think I went to bed at like 1. I think, John, you showed up way late. I went to bed like 1.
You were there. What time did I show up? But in your defense, in your defense, you look like you were ready for bed. If you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying, everybody.
Are you going to Baltimore?
No, I don't have
Okay.
any time off until July. You know, when I broke my neck, I used up all my time off. So
I bet, yeah.
I don't have any time off until the year ends, and then part of the construction is we have furlough, and I think we have 8 weeks. So I have 8 weeks off, and you know, sometimes you're told to take off, sometimes you can ask for time off, and I would like to save that for like Heroes Con. Are you going to go to Heroes Con?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll see you in Heroes Con.
Oh, definitely.
You live down the block. Let's go to a bar. You know, let's go.
Yes, we can just do that. Well, we're going to have a fulfillment party. If you want to come,
Sure.
Because Gate Crashers, we start fulfillment. Gate Crasher comes at the end of this month. So we're going to start to have it at my office, and then maybe go out and light the fire pit and hang out at my house. You know, that night.
That's awesome. Yeah, if you need somebody stuffing these Gemini mailers, I actually find that relaxing. When I did it for my own campaign, I sat right here and I just played music. And
if you don't mind helping us, stretch goals, and we'll do it. Like I said, we'll do it at maybe the first in October, maybe, or the end of September, because I had 3 conventions the first 3 weeks in October. So, but maybe even after that, maybe you have a little Halloween type thing, and we fulfill. And like I said, come back to my house, light the fireplace, get a bunch of, get some beers, get some whiskey, and let's have a good time.
Yeah, I want to bring up this point, but we would talk about something else. But we're talking about your son. I didn't even think of this. If he welds, he should go to local 638 over here in Long Island, the steam fitters. These guys weld every day. They might just grab them.
That's what I want to see. That's why I want him to actually go to the office. So local 638.
Yeah, local 638. It's in the 5 boroughs. They also have a Long Island borough, but I would go to the city boroughs. And at the risk of getting piled on by people, this local 638 is the top union, trade union in Manhattan.
Really? So let me see. Here we go. I want to see if there's an office, Long Island office.
Yes,
or even in Manhattan.
Right. I don't know where it is, but you definitely want the 5.
Go. It's in Long Island City. See, so yeah. I'm like, drive there, go there, and just hand them in your whatchamacallit.
Yeah, you live in Long Island, just go to Long Island Railroad, take the Long Island Railroad right to Jamaica, and then go right to Long Island City. You're right there.
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Yeah, go with them, and then take photographs, take photos and videos of him actually welding and stuff that he did. Show the line, the beads and stuff and things like that.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Because I know I'm betraying my local, but if he's a welder, the steam fitters weld every day. Every day is a major portion of their job. The electricians, we got 10,000 electricians, maybe 200 welders. You know what I mean? So I think he would best for him to go to the steam fitters.
Should he go to and there it is in Long Island City. So
right.
I'll ask him to go. I'll go there with him. You walk in, if you got photos of your stuff and give him your resume.
Photos, because anybody can walk in and say they're a welder.
Right.
You know what I mean? And have a video, like show him putting on the helmet, welding, you know what I mean? So it's, it's not fake or anything.
No, he's got photos of himself welding that he took that are really, really good. And, but like I said, take pictures of his work and stuff of what he does.
They got the best package. They got the best retirement. They got the best vacation plan. My union used to set the standard, but the steam fitters and it's like the steam fitters and the plumbers, you know what I mean? And plumbers also weld, but you'd rather be a steam fitter. Those guys are welded constantly to the point, you see steam fitters.
Tired of welding. He says his shoulders hurt and everything too. So I don't think he's averse to trying something new if he get in it,
Right. Yeah. If he's got a skill, he's got an edge. He could probably go in like at a certain rate higher than anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you for
that. And he'll have regular hours. And if he has to work these hours again, it's what's he going to get? $137 an hour, plus benefits and everything. Can't beat that.
You said $137?
If he's working overtime, yeah. If he's working overtime, yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Why not?
Wow.
I don't want to
say
my rate, but if I'm working overtime, I'm working close to that,
Yeah, that's great. Good for you. God bless you. So I also added, if you could, in the private chat, the first thing I sent, because I want to make an admittance of something.
Okay, I'll bring that up. I got it loaded up and ready to go. Okay. Here we go. This.
Yeah, if you can go big on it, go full screen with it, click on it.
There we go. Is this or this?
Yeah.
Okay, one at a time.
Yeah, or my tweet. Can you get my tweet here too? So anyway, I wanted to here. I must give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Wizard Comics, for finding the original article from Wizard number 114, Gen 13 ongoing series launched in 1995 with 13 variant covers. I knew that. Jim Lee told me he was doing that. I told my buddy, and he went big on it, and he made a lot of money. Fucker never bought me dinner though. The great Jim Lee stated that his favorite was the do-it-yourself cover, as we had to include something for the kiddies, right? Jim, along with the incomparable J. Scott Campbell, were indeed the first to do it. While 2 years later, I produced the first sketch cover with a dedicated paper for artists to draw on. So happy anniversary, Gen 13. What amazing time being friends with such talented innovators. So if you click on the big image, is Wizard called it Gimmick of the Month. So Gen 13 of their 13 covers did do a blank cover, right? It was just an art board, say. Right. And there was grunges on it saying, hey, draw your own, sort of thing. 2 years later, I then did, and if you go to the next page right there, yeah, they talk about me, that this was in 1997, but it was for our 98 tour book. Was that I did a dedicated sketch cover, blank cover, with better paper, for people like, listen, you come to the shows, you buy the book for $5, I'll do a free sketch for you. You want to pay more, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't the first to do a sketch cover or to print a sketch type cover, but I think I am the first one to launch I am the one to launch the sketch cover revolution. Because even like Silvestri called me. He's like, dude, that's a great idea.
It is. It's a fun idea.
I'm going to do it. And I mean, how many thousands of artists have probably made millions of dollars doing sketch covers, especially the high end.
It's a fun way to, like, I've seen you at comic conventions before, and I've seen people give it a sketch cover, and I see what you drew. It's really cool. You don't just slop something out. You do a good, legitimate sketch, and the people are happy, and it's unique. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. People will treasure that. I know Sibling loves that stuff, and he treasures that stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? That is awesome.
I thought what a cool idea that everyone gets their own custom comic cover, and I'll do it for you at the show. So if you bought the book for $5 and you came to me, I'd do it for free, and I would just do quick headshots. But we had a line of hundreds of people, and I'm doing them. And then I'm like, I'll draw whatever you want. I remember one guy, and my mother was there, believe it or not, and he was in Pittsburgh, and he was a really cool guy, but he goes, can you draw me, my wife, and my girlfriend? I drew 3 of them. I was like, the hell is wrong with that guy? I'm like, I don't know, Mom.
Me, my wife, and my girlfriend.
He's drawing for everybody. That's what he wanted. So he gave me pictures.
God bless him. That's like, do you remember that guy who won the lottery in New York in the 80s? He showed up with his wife and his girlfriend. To get the lottery ticket on TV, and everybody, my father was laughing, and the wife goes, he won the lottery, he can have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
New Yorkers. And then he had that commercial, and don't be stingy with the mustard. It was the same guy.
Oh, was it? Yeah. That's it. We did the Powerball, me and a bunch of my Legion buddies, and I'm like, can you be anonymous now? And according to New York, you can't, because who the hell wants to tell people? I guess idiots. Yeah, I won the lottery, look at me. Bullshit. I'd be like,
wait, it was for those of you, it was over $1 billion this Saturday. Me and my wife, we rehearse it. We win the lottery. We don't tell anybody, not our friends, nobody. And then Monday morning, we go down to the courts and we legally change our names and don't tell anybody.
There you go. That's good.
And then the newspaper, it's like, oh, Erwin and Norma Lipschitz won the lottery.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
those Lipschitz, I'm so jealous of the Lipschitz.
That's it, man. And then
there will be clues.
And then make an AI movie off of your comics, John. Then make a movie off your comics.
Yeah,
yourself.
Yeah. So, and the lawyer started a state claim. Yeah, we got it planned. We got a trust fund. You know, that's like, I know me. I need a trust fund because I'll blow it all. I'll have Wiz Comics #2. I'll have Billy Tucci drawing covers.
But you buy that stuff. You buy Wiz Comics #2. That's an investment.
Right, I know, but still, you can't eat. You can't eat an investment. You can't live in an investment. You know what I mean?
True, yeah, but trust me, if you want $1 billion, you can buy whatever you want and not worry about it.
Wiz Comics #2. My wife and her boyfriend will be selling it when I have my heart attack because I joke my comic book room is the black hole. Comics go in, they never come out.
Yeah, I know. That's a cool.
I got no kids, and my nieces and nephews are all like, when Uncle John goes, well, you weren't nice to me. You're a liberal. I ain't leaving you crap.
That's right. That's it. Oh man.
Yeah. Anything you want to talk about? Because I got to start getting ready to go to work.
No, next week we're going to launch a very limited, I think maybe 100 copies of our She Wolverine crossover. How cool is that? I did a crossover with all these companies. Wolverine She, because for respect for Marvel, we call it Wolverine She Judgment Night, 25th anniversary of that comic. And we're going to do a special 25th anniversary edition next week of it.
Okay, cool.
And then, like I said, the week after that, we're going to launch Ran, Revenge of the Warrior, with covers by me, Dan Lawless, my buddies Leandro Oliveira and Fred Bennis. And that'll be a 48-page badass graphic novel of everything I wanted to do with She, but never did. Ran was the character before that became She. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm having a lot of fun. She's badass, man. It takes place in 1993, so it's all early 90s, like how I would have wrote it back in college, that sort of thing. Like when I first wrote She, basically it was a lot like this. Pretty much the same story too, which evolved into the Way of the Warrior story. But there's nothing similar to it at all. So, but a lot of fun.
Cool. And looking forward. And if you need help, give me a call. I think it's fun to.
Yeah,
well, I'm bagging important comics and sorting comics. It'll be fun to put stuff in Gemini mailers and mail them off.
Yeah, let me know your schedule because maybe even that first. I don't know if you work Thursday nights.
Yeah, again, like I said, I don't get home till almost midnight. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, yeah, because
in the morning.
Yeah, I think if I look at October, we're gone that first 3 weekends. That sucks. 2025.
Do you still like traveling and doing the conventions?
No, not at all. I despise it.
Really?
I like hanging out with my friends, but I can't stand going. I can't.
Because you're good. I mean, like I said, I've seen you at conventions a few times. You're like charming and everybody's happy. You know what I mean? So if you don't like it, you're a good actor because you have a big smile on your face. The
costume fun when I'm there, but like you see me that Wednesday or Thursday before, dude, pissed off. I'm like, gotta travel again? Oh my god! We did get invited to the San Diego Comic-Con cruise though in February, at the end of January 30th to February 3rd or something like that. So we're psyched about that.
That's cool.
But maybe even New York Comic-Con weekend. If I just do New York Comic-Con for Thursday, maybe that weekend I can have like that Saturday, we have our fulfillment party. People want to come to that because New York Comic-Con is just overwhelming. So maybe I can do I'll do Thursday New York Comic-Con and then Friday night, maybe Friday or maybe Saturday we have a fulfillment party.
What is the date of Comic-Con? Because I'm
New York Comic-Con is October.
Yeah,
that would be say the 11th and 12th of October.
Yeah, I'm on this
Saturday and Sunday.
At least December. When you go to a job, you issued a work ticket. So I got a work ticket till December. So
are you off on Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah, Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah. So come on out. Maybe we'll do it that Saturday because I want to be in the city. That, like I said, maybe I'll do Thursday.
If it weren't for chatting with geeks like Stippling Vaughn, he'd hate it. Yeah, I got to meet Stippling. That was a lot of fun. We hung out.
Yeah, they're great.
Some original art. That was amazing. That was so cool.
Yeah, and Amanda, they always give me presents. And Amanda always gives us candles. Where's my candle? Here's the top of it. Oh, I think I burnt it out. My last candle because I see it's burnt.
Oh,
I think I burnt it out. Oh well.
Oh well.
But I think maybe that's the weekend we'll do our what you call it, our fulfillment party. I think that's the way to go. So.
All right. Well, I gotta go get ready for work.
All right, brother.
It's
Me
just
too.
I'm having fun, and now I got to stop everything and go to work. You know, I hate the
I
schedule.
got a meeting. We got a meeting today at 2:30, I think, or 4:30, and then I gotta go to gym. I gotta do this cover. I gotta get these covers done. So,
Okay.
all right, brother.
All right,
Thanks,
good.
John.
Thanks for coming on. It's always
Thanks,
a pleasure
everybody,
talking to you.
for coming,
Show me
Chris.
something.
And
All right.
still, I mean, well, Vaughn, call you by your name, and PM, and Zach Tan, and everybody. It was great. Bats, great seeing all you guys.
And all the Vaughns
Gene,
showed up. We got
Alice, Matt. Thanks a lot, guys,
right.
for joining us. And let's continue this conversation about let's make movies, man.
Yeah.
Based on more comics.
I'd see you guys. See everybody.
Bye, John.
Tucci. Check out 4 campaigns a year. Always fulfilled. This guy's the gold standard of crowdfunding.
Yeah, this one's late though. We're 3 months late. People are pissed. Sorry.
3
months late, man.
Yeah. 3
We
months.
added another 10 pages to the story. That's why.
There's a difference. Well,
Yeah.
I'll be quiet. All right,
I'll see you
bye-bye,
later.
everybody.
Thanks, John. I'll talk to you soon, brother.
See you soon. Bye-bye.